DeSanto Propane is 4 generations strong as a trustworthy family-owned business with unmatched customer service. Go online at DeSantoPropane.com for more info or call toll-free at 1-800-752-4574. Since 1937, the difference has been DeSanto Propane.
All right, everybody, welcome into Fresh Takes with Russo and Felice. I am Paul Russo. Next to me, Nick Felice. We'll maybe get to your pants later on. We enter a dark time allegedly in the sports world. We're post Super Bowl, but we got baseball, we got NASCAR, so we got a few different things to talk about here. It might be one of our. Every time I say it ends up going a little bit longer, shorter type episodes, but. Is what it is. Nick, good seeing you. How you doing?
Happy pitchers and catchers report week.
That's right.
Yeah, baseball. The good thing about football always ending is that baseball is right around the corner.
That's true.
For the diehard baseball fans, for our normal baseball fan, they're like, season's not for another 6 weeks. So, but for us, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
And just good to see our favorite players out there playing catch in a place we wish we were at.
Unless you're an Angels fan. But more on that in a few minutes.
They just got Kenley Jansen.
That's not who I'm talking about. Anyway, think a couple more of our sponsors here before we get going, including the Lux Hotel and Conference Center. Next great location for your overnight stay, wedding, event, reception, meeting space, and much more. On-site food and beverage at Woody's Bar and Grill. You're sure to find everything you're looking for in one spot. You can contact them today to inquire about your next opportunity. And the Perfect Pair Eatery, quality carry-out cuisine in Seneca Falls. Everything made fresh, in-house smoked meats, comfort classics, desserts, sweet treats, sure to please the entire family for lunch or dinner. They're offering a business lunch drop-off on Monday and Tuesday. You can reach out at perfectpaireatery.com or call them at 315-712-4004. And look for the yellow door at 64 West Baird Street. So,
what about McDonald's? Aren't they a sponsor?
No, they aren't. Not this again, Nick.
Nice hat, though.
Thank you, appreciate it. We'll get to maybe
Big Burger King guy.
We'll get to maybe the fry wagon, obviously, during our NASCAR discussion. So, we begin though. Philadelphia Eagles defeating the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Defeating.
40-22.
Use another word there. Annihilating.
Well, I was going to get to that.
Obliterating.
I was going to get to that because I don't think the score properly indicates just how big of a deficit that game actually was for the Chiefs. Obviously, as we would call it, a little bit of garbage time there for the Chiefs where they got another touchdown. But, let's start with just that initial thought of, the Eagles, frankly, just they just dominated the Chiefs. There's no way around it. The initial thought behind that fact.
Well, to you and me, we kind of get blinded by our hate a little bit because we hate the Eagles. But this team's loaded when you really think about it. They have a great running game, great offensive line, great defensive line, apparently a great pass defense as well, with, I would say, underrated quarterback. I think Jalen Hurts doesn't get the credit that he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the better running, power running quarterbacks. He's just, you talk about the line, you talk about the push on the tush push, but his strength and his muscles and power he creates the tush push. He's a big reason for the tush push, and
he is the tush of the push.
Yes, and but he doesn't get enough credit. I think he's a top 5 quarterback in this league. Wouldn't go out and say he's number 1, but I think he really proved a lot. I don't know if I'm still sold on Nick Sirianni. It's one of those things. Is remember Doug Peterson?
Yeah.
We thought he was this great coach for the Eagles, won a Super Bowl, and he not too long after he was gone.
Well, it's pretty funny you mentioned that because I did see on Gridiron Heights, the Bleacher Report cartoon sketch that they do. The Sirianni's line in it goes, I have job security for 2 or 3 years, which is true. I mean, Peterson was safe for literally 2 years after, and you can say what you want. Let's just keep it as is. I I did pick the Eagles. You took the Chiefs in our pool. So that means I won the Pick'em Championship this year, which is great. It's awesome.
Where's the trophy?
Yeah, I think it's your pants. If I had the ability, okay, let's do that quick. Nick's got some very bright pants on, and oh my good God, what is happening?
Right there.
There we go. I guess.
Leg hasn't stretched that I guess that angle in a long time.
Yeah. You okay?
Yeah, but
You're gonna.
there they are.
You don't need to do it a second time.
Yeah, so
That's good though. Good for you. Proud of you.
Yeah, I'm all stretched out for the day.
Yeah, that's good. You keep that stretch going
that's
off
my neon
air
pants.
for the Seneca 7. You might need it then. But all right, back to the Marahan. Yeah, it's not like I would say either. Well, I'll rephrase because obviously the Eagles were successful in their first drive, but it was one of those things initially where I didn't think much of anything, but like once the Eagles got rolling, they just got rolling, and they punched the Chiefs in the mouth once. They did it twice. They did it 3 times, and the Chiefs just had no response. Frankly, it was about the worst games we've seen out of a few different guys within that Chiefs organization. And to piggyback off of something you said, to add on to that, that you mentioned for us, how it's tough given our allegiances. Didn't like seeing the Eagles win by any means. But there was something pretty damn satisfying about watching the Chiefs just get dismantled the way they did.
I think we both could agree going into the Super Bowl, we didn't care who won.
More or less.
I mean, we knew someone was going to lose.
Yeah.
And it just so happened to be a blowout, so now someone got blown out in this game.
Yeah.
And, yeah, there's a part of me that's glad to see the Chiefs get humbled up, I guess you can say, in this game. Definitely not rooting for. I was hoping the Eagles lose because hatred for the Eagles goes back a long time. But, yeah, they just kind of looked out of it. And not to go back and touch on it, it's just like the Nick Sirianni thing and Ryan Day winning with Ohio State. These are 2 coaches we thought if they didn't do anything in this playoffs, they were going to be gone. Isn't that kind of crazy? I remember saying this to you. Those 2 coaches, they lose first round in each of their playoffs, they're probably getting fired. But here they are, champions. But going back to the Chiefs, didn't it look weird? Travis Kelce just looked completely out of it in that game.
Yeah, and I don't know if we should have that discussion more so on its own, just given the fact that he's really acknowledged the fact that he doesn't know what he's going to do here for the future. Maybe that deserves a little bit more on that end, but he hasn't looked great all year. And that's the main part of it. A lot of people were hopping on a lot of his props. I can't remember if you did you. I can't remember.
I said he'd get a touchdown.
Okay.
I also said Saquon. Boy, did that not happen.
But the Kelce thing, I was surprised at the amount of people hopping on his props. I'm just like, he hasn't done much all year. It was really one of those things where it was like, I feel like a lot of people were taking I remember the one specifically was his yardage one over 60.5, because in each of the Chiefs Super Bowl wins he's had over, I think I can't remember if it was 75 or what, but and everybody's like, that's an easy number for them to get. I'm like, but you're banking on a thing where everybody's also acknowledged this is just not the same Chiefs team that has won those other Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is it. It's interesting. I don't know how Kelce fits into the historical narrative of the position in this era. I feel like maybe that portion of it's a different discussion for a different time, obviously. But yeah, from him to frankly Mahomes looking about as bad as he ever has in the NFL. And I get it. He was running for his life a lot, but for a guy who we sure loved hyping him up when he was on the run and throwing across his body and everything, it certainly was not what we got Sunday.
Very similar to when they lost to the Bucs. He looked pretty bald.
Yeah, kind of,
He didn't look great in that game either.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my God, this is the first time we've seen Mahomes struggle.
Kind of, yeah.
And he really struggled in this game. I mean, this game was over by the second quarter. you're thinking, okay, they get the ball at halftime, if they score and get some momentum.
I think,
but it never happened.
I think for me it was more the third quarter only because of what you just said. The fact that they had the ball to start the quarter.
It was what, 24-0?
It was still 24-0, so it's obviously not great. Let's not sugarcoat it. But
there were still people
but we lived through 28-3. So like to me that's where I was just like it's not over by any means.
Nobody was counting out Mahomes yet.
Right.
Until it got too out of hand. And you know, they were the better team, the Eagles.
Yeah.
And Vegas was going off of Mahomes, and they were completely wrong about that line.
It's interesting too because now there's a little bit of revisionist history already kind of happening a little bit where it's like, what would the Bills have done in that spot? Yeah. I saw people even kind of wondering like, what would Washington have done to the Chiefs if they had been?
Yeah.
And I don't know in that case. I don't even know in the Bills' case.
I personally think the only team that could have gave the Eagles a chance, a run, if the Lions were full strength. I think at full strength, the Lions were the best team in football. They just had way too many injuries.
But that's part of it.
I know. That's part of it. But if they were healthy.
But you could make the same case. I don't disagree, but you can make the same case with the Eagles too, though, in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like Brandon Graham comes back off the IR literally day out, for example, for the Chiefs, or for the Eagles. Like that's all I'm saying. Like I get what you're saying, but it's part of it, and it's not. I get what you're saying, but it's not like Aiden Hutchinson was out for just the final 2 weeks for the Lions. I mean, they'd been on that all year.
Also, if the Giants had the Eagles team, they could have gave the Eagles a run for their money.
I agree. We're pro Eli Manning.
BS that Eli Manning didn't make the Hall of Fame on Thursday, by the way.
There's a couple tough hangs in that class.
Smallest class since 2005.
Yeah.
And then get in. Feeling Jaron Allen first ballot. Was he first ballot or no?
Yeah.
He was?
So if he gets in, I think Kuechly should get in.
Yeah.
And I think they're both Hall of Famers. The one I don't get, maybe it's because I just wasn't really enough recognizing what football was at the time, but like I don't know why Sterling Sharp's going in.
It's true. After all these years.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, I think it's just the voters. There's just a lot of guys. I'm not going to be the one who puts Eli in.
Yeah.
And you just got too many guys. He didn't even make the top 10.
They're going to have an issue here next year because I don't think he gets in first ballot either by any means, but like if Rivers gets in before Eli,
got a problem.
We're going to have some discussion.
And I get it.
We got to have some discussion.
Rivers has some good numbers, but Rivers didn't have the career Eli had.
No.
He also played in a way better pass offense. You know, LT ran a lot, but it was a better offense for him.
Well, he was only with LT for like 6 years, right? 6, 7 years. Like he was only with him for half his career. I mean,
that was a sling it offense for the Chargers.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
But it's also funny because that was the team Eli was supposed to go to.
Yeah.
You know, that's the funny part about it all. But Super Bowl. I thought the commercials were good. The halftime show was better than I thought it was.
Hold on to the halftime. Let's do the commercial stuff first. What was the best commercial for you?
Best commercial for me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
In your opinion, obviously.
I'm trying to think what I remember.
Mine is hands down Seal as a seal. And I do not care what anybody says.
Yeah.
From a kiss from a rose.
Favorite one? I mean, big Tim Robinson fan. And there
was that reminds me.
The Tostitos one.
I don't mean to interrupt. But as people know, we are movie people. You see the movie he's got coming out in May?
Yes.
We're going to need to go.
You want to know the thing about that?
I heard because it's already screened at a couple of the festivals. Apparently, it's just one giant. I think you should leave. Sketch.
Also, the ratings for it also really good.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to go.
It's like a horror comedy movie with Paul Rudd.
Yeah, I think we'll have to go.
I think that theaters is going to be cool.
Yeah.
And
Anyway, no, I didn't mean to get completely off topic there, but I
it's
just
called
got
Friendship.
yeah,
Yeah, it looks awesome.
yeah. Anyway, back to the commercial.
Also, we gotta watch that Captain America movie too.
Ooh, tough hang so far, from what I'm reading.
Oh, really? Not
Yeah.
good ratings.
No,
Like bad.
48 on Rotten
Oh,
Tomatoes.
it's bad. For a Avengers movie, or
I said this,
Marvel movie?
so I know we're supposed to be talking about Super Bowl later. We're off the. I don't know if there's much to really talk about game wise at this point. Anyway, yeah, I was talking with Matt about this last week, and do I think it's gonna be as bad as Doctor Strange? No. But like Marvel's in a really interesting spot right now, and I worry. I worry pretty big about some of the stuff.
Well, they lost one of their big, I think, showrunners. He
Yeah.
went to DC. He's creating the DC and James Gunn there.
Yeah.
That's a big loss.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued to see how they handle all that.
And also, I don't know how to feel about the Fantastic Four coming out either. I'm not.
Has any of them been successful? Maybe back in
No.
the day? Way back in the day?
Well, way back, yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
The ones they've come out with have been bad. Recently.
man, dude, I don't know. And then the poster they initially released for Fantastic Four was clearly AI generated. There were people with only like 4 fingers in.
The Thunderbolts one looks all right.
Yeah, that one I'm on board with, but I think that's a lot more of like I think that one's giving me vibes. I'm of the opinion me and you are anyway. We're in the minority opinion that like Suicide Squad was actually like a decent enough movie. Now, mind you, I get
The first one.
It's a completely different cinematic universe.
Yeah.
But like,
The one with Will Smith.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, it's a completely different cinematic universe, obviously, DC to Marvel again here. But I feel like that's going to be some sort of mix between that and like, I guess technically Guardians in a way, which like I think there's a good lane for it there, which is why I'm kind of excited. It's also like a bunch of actors that you don't really expect to be in those movies, so that's why I'm on board with it.
Yeah. I'm going to give them a click. Obviously, I'll give them a watch because they're Marvel movies.
yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. But that does have to do something with Super Bowl because it was a Super Bowl commercial.
True. Yeah.
Uh,
So you're saying the Tostinos?
Yeah, if I had to pick one.
Okay.
Just because there was one back in the day, they had one with Sam Richardson and Tim Robinson. It was funny.
Yeah.
And they killed it off Jasmo.
The Doritos one was all right. It wasn't my personal favorite, but I understand why people were
The
excited.
Dunkin' one was a little strange, getting Bill Belichick's
The
girlfriend.
Dunkin' one was weird. I thought the Stella one was weird too because like
What was that one again?
that one was the one with David Beckham
Oh, yeah.
and Matt Damon being twins. But like there was a really weird call out to that Dunk Kings commercial, like kind of talking smack about it. I'm like, this is like I don't know what's going on here.
I do like Uber Eats one with Matthew McConaughey. Big fan of that. I'm a big Sean Evans guy.
I'm not a big fan of the one they had all football season long. Like Jerry's got some rice. I'm just not. And then they kind
You
of
do say that a lot.
Jerry's got rice. Pancake blocks.
But I'm a big Sean Evans.
Touchdown, feed me more.
Sean Evans is my guy, so he was on the commercial, so big fan.
Yeah, you brought the halftime show. I was a big fan of it.
Wasn't?
I was a big fan of it. Still am a big fan of it. I know, like, mass-wise here, people aren't going to like this take. Maybe not even mass-wise, but, like, yeah, I'm going to indirectly call people out here in a way, and I don't mean to in this sense, but, like, do our parents' generation recognize, like, the show isn't for them anymore?
I think they've realized it over the last few years.
I would hope. And I don't mean anything, like, bad by it, but, like, I brought this up Sunday with you at the game with you guys. I'm like, I understand what people mean by, like, I want football. Like, yeah, I'd probably prefer rock, too, for a Super Bowl show. But, like, I'm sorry. You can't tell me in here that you don't want Kendrick when you widely regard Prince as being one of the best halftime shows ever. When, I'm sorry, you tell me to think of football. Prince is, like, the least furthest thing on my mind for football. Just calling it as it is.
Yeah, it's gone to a younger audience for sure. Especially with this Kendrick move. He's really younger, too. Like,
He's 37 though.
yeah, I know, but
Is it all
what's Usher?
Isn't all that younger?
What's Usher?
I think Usher's got to be.
In the 40s, at least?
Oh no, he's got to be in the 50s.
Oh, so he's older.
Usher was a thing while we were in like Katie Stanton.
Either way, that's 10 years of knowing Usher more.
True.
At
Yeah.
least
Oh yeah.
than Kendrick.
Oh way more than that. Like we're talking probably 15 to 20.
So you're going 15, 20 years Kendrick's probably been in the game.
Yeah.
That's one of the youngest acts I think they've ever had for the Super Bowl, like for a youngest audience.
Oh, I see what you're saying now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh well, no, I don't know about that now. Hold on. Katy Perry.
But Katy Perry's been around for 25 years.
No, she hasn't. When Katy Perry did her show, what was it, like
20 years.
10 years ago now?
When did California Girls come out? That was so old.
California Girls came out probably 2012-ish.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have guessed like 2007.
No, that's like when she first kind of came out in the scene with Hot and Cold and whatever other song was kind of part of that album.
Okay, so she's younger too.
Not that I would know.
Sounds like you're a fan, but
Look, some of the earlier Katy Perry stuff I mess with. I'm not gonna lie.
Roar.
Dark Horse. Dark Horse, yeah.
Anyway,
Dark Horse, California Girls.
he's one of the younger.
Waking Up in Vegas.
He's one of the like for a younger
Yeah,
audience
sure.
type act. So I mean, you're getting rid of the 40, 50-year-olds too, who probably know of Kendrick, just not as big.
I'd say 50 for sure. I don't know about 40. 40 is probably pushing it.
But you're taking out the 50-year-olds now too. So I mean, it's.
I'm not a fan of the way.
I would say 50 and up, at least 90% of them were like either going to the bathroom or getting some more food.
Well, and like
They weren't paying attention.
my thing with this too, to a degree, is like, it's not like this was like some sort of surprise like thing. Like we've known Kendrick was doing the Super Bowl now for 8 months, I think, right?
Something like that.
I mean, the only person you have to blame for yourself for watching if you didn't want to watch it's yourself. You know. Look, I'm a live music junkie anyway in the sense. I like it. There's rarely has there been a Super Bowl halftime show I haven't liked in that sense.
Was SZA lip singing?
I don't think lip syncing in the traditional sense, but I think there was some help, if you know what I mean.
Didn't even notice Serena out there.
People didn't until like afterwards, man. Like, and that's. Do we want to do any of the Drake stuff?
No, that's not us. Not our first ever episode. It was a rap beef.
Not like us, huh? That's right. It was featuring Drake too, though.
Who was it? Drake and who?
Drake and
Lil-
Pusha T.
Pusha T. That was our first episode.
Part of it, yeah. It's just interesting because like I think people forget that like Drake and Serena dated for like a
Oh,
very
really?
short time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Drake was not kind to her after the fact, so like,
Yeah, it's a little diss towards him.
yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I think it about covers the Super Bowl then for us, give or take.
Yeah, overall, I think it's going to be one of those Super Bowls. 10 years from now, we'll be like, oh, yeah, remember that one?
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a forgotten one.
I don't
The
know
only
about.
thing to keep it relevant because the Chiefs failed to get their third.
I think it depends how the legacy kind of goes here for. Maybe not so much on the Eagles end of it, but certainly on the Chiefs end of
If
it.
it is the last time the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl with this dynasty, then
I don't think it's going to be a forgotten one in that sense. You know what I mean? So
you'll forget Nick Sirianni was the coach.
I'm going to move on that note. Much like Sirianni
Also,
should.
speaking of Nick Sirianni, since he's from Jamestown, you know who I learned is from Central New York?
Well,
Rob
this-
Manfred.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah.
Grew up in Rome.
Yeah.
Didn't know that till today.
There's a lot of like sneaky stuff. Let's do that quick. Okay. Greg Sankey, commissioner of the SEC, from Auburn.
New York,
Yeah.
not Auburn, Alabama.
Known Central New York place, Auburn, Alabama.
Well, you said SEC, so I'm thinking Auburn.
Pat Riley's also from from Utica technically.
Really?
Roger Goodell's from Jamestown.
Really?
Yeah.
Jamestown.
Yep.
Got Sirianni in him.
Yep. That's unfortunate. They also have Lucille Ball.
What about Dave Justy, though?
Saginaw Falls. Pitcher. Nice transition. Baseball. Pitchers and catchers reporting. I think is tomorrow technically the last day for
Shooter McGavin
teams?
as well. Just
Right.
But anyway, tomorrow's the last technical.
But pretty much everybody's there at this point anyway. It's interesting. Anthony Rendon not reporting for the Angels because he has to have another surgery, so he's going to be out for an extended period of time again.
Just quit. He doesn't even like baseball. He said that.
God, dude, it sucks. I remember seeing him in Auburn when Auburn was affiliated with the Nationals, and what a shame. But what's not a shame is the fact that we got baseball back on the Diamond Stick. So early season stuff here, obviously, super early on. What are some of the things that you look at from your side of things as a fan, as a fantasy player owner? What are some of the things you're kind of, well, you laugh, but like, what are some of the things you kind of look at here early on, or is it just more or less making sure nobody's going to blow out their arm playing catch?
One thing I like to look at is the top prospects from around the league and see if they're going to make the opening day roster. Because in a league like we have, which is like 14 owners, these guys get drafted, like a Jackson Jobe. I want to know if he's going to be the real deal. Where is he in the Tigers' rotation?
Yeah.
I want to know that kind of stuff. So that's one of the things I look at. Another thing is, you can't really take any stock in spring training stats. I mean, unless it's like a position battle. A lot of the time, the pitchers are working on new pitches. They're just going through the motions. And a lot of the time, it's easy to hit down there, especially Bradenton, Florida, where the Pirates play. That place, the wind just blows out. The fences aren't very high, and they hit a lot of home runs there. And when the regular season comes, the Pirates don't hit any home runs. So, I mean, you can't really take a lot of stock into it. But, it's just good to see people playing again. Hopefully nobody gets hurt. Obviously, there's always that one injury that happens. The one year that comes to mind is when Gavin Lux went down in spring training there, and he never really got a chance to play with the Dodgers, really.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I'm just seeing video of Dan Hurley taunting Creighton
terrible.
fans last night for the first time, and I'm getting thrown for a loop, admittedly, even by his standards.
He just doesn't grow up, this man.
It's crazy. Even in the tunnel, he was still doing
Oh, my
it.
God. He's just a little kid in a 50-year-old body, however old he is.
Jesus. How old is he? That's a good point. You continue on. I'm going to look that up.
But pitchers and catchers, for diehard fans, get excited for that. But it really doesn't mean anything. They're just practicing. I mean, it's cool because with social media now these days, you get to see the players come in, especially the Yankees are good with this, with answering the questions, just random stuff like, what's your favorite color? Should mustard go on a hot dog or ketchup go on a hot dog? Stuff like that. And that's kind of cool just to see the personality of the players. That's really what this is. But once next Thursday gets here, we have our first spring training game, and everybody starts playing by next Saturday. You get really into the swing of it, and it's just nice to see a box score. I think that's a lot of people just like to see is how, if you really follow the team, you know a lot of these guys. I mean, if you really follow the team, you should know all these guys on your team that's going to be playing on the Major League spring training team. And, just to see how they're doing, see how their progress is coming, and see if they can, because there's usually at least 2-3 spots on the team that's still battling for these guys to fight for, especially with a 26-man roster for the last few years it's been.
Hurley is a 52, by the way.
What a baby.
I thought you were on a different term there, and I'm proud of you for restraining yourself.
He's a baby. Yeah. He's won everything, and he's still crying. Well, what are the Creighton fans getting your head for? And they won the game.
That was a good game, though.
Yeah, I can't stand him. He does put some eyeballs on the sport, though. A sport that
it's true.
People say baseball's dying. College basketball is not the sport I grew up watching what it is today. And that makes me sad.
It's a fact.
Baseball, I feel like it's gotten better since I was a little kid, which was great back then. People don't understand. There's baseball fans out there.
Yep. Hello, it's us.
This sport is the second biggest sport, second most popular sport in America.
Yeah.
And people don't realize it. because you got your ESPNs in the world that need to talk about the NBA, and I like the NBA, but it's not MLB.
How does this affect LeBron's legacy?
It doesn't.
Should we sign Dwight Howard?
But baseball is number 2. People just, for whatever reason, the media doesn't like to talk about it, but it's still the second most popular sport in America. It's pretty hard to catch number 1, but because it's just super popular football. But
For now.
Till concussions. ruin it.
CTE.
And then we'll be back on top, just like we were in the 40s.
Yeah, let's not go all the way back to there, to the 40s.
But I'm excited. It's just exciting.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
Yeah, I'm with you. It even like next week when we get our first games, I put that in quotes very loosely for those first couple especially. It's a lot of times it's those minor leaguers, the non-roster guys, and those are cool to see because like guys, they're fighting frankly for their careers. Some of them, right?
That's the 8th, 9th inning of a spring training game. Nobody's got a last name on their jersey.
First name, last name type stuff. But yeah, I mean, the real cool stuff for spring training comes in a couple weeks when the games actually kind of really get going a little bit and kind of see and kind of see how everything shakes out.
What's cool about the Tokyo series, any kind of season before the season starts, series before the season starts, overseas or whatever, is it makes spring training a lot shorter.
For a couple teams,
just having those 2 games there, and I guess I care more about the Cubs because they're in our division than Dodgers, but it's just nice to see an actual game being played, even if it's at 6 in the morning.
Craig Counsell was pretty funny, admittedly, though, because they asked him about whether Shota would be pitching in Japan. He goes, I don't think I have a choice.
He's their best pitcher.
But I think it was meant more so as he's Japanese, you're in Japan, will you be using him? And he goes, yeah, I don't have a choice. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if, I think he's their number 2, but I'm also a big Justin Steele guy. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Steele probably is number 1. We got to see what Shota does this year. I mean, it's only been 1 year in the majors. Yeah. People catch up to you. Even Skeens.
I was about to say, you should know out of anybody.
Even Skeens. You got to see sophomore slump is there. It's there for a
That's
reason.
not what I was talking about, but
Well,
it's talking about the fantasy trade.
Oh, yeah. I traded him for Skeens, right? Yes. Well, the thing is that Betts was part of that trade. And
I'm just saying.
Shota was like a throw-in, basically.
Throw-in.
I got Skeens. But, yeah. Just exciting to see it back and see the warm weather. Love that part. Yeah. Just to turn on a game and feel like you're there, but you're not really there. Also hoping for more telecasts. I don't get why all spring training games are not televised, but 2025, I thought that would be a thing by now, but a lot more games seem to be televised this year.
Figure some of these places would have huddle cams or something.
Seriously. The fact that we have to listen on the radio in 2025 for not all the games, or for not televise all the games, is ridiculous.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of nice weather, Daytona, NASCAR officially kicks off regular season this weekend as well.
Tomorrow night, actually.
Really today, to be fair. We got qualifying later on. They had a practice this morning.
This race that Chase Elliott, my boy, won.
The Clash.
And the Duel. Is that kind of like the preseason?
The Clash? It's an exhibition race.
The preseason.
I don't know if I really call it that. It used to not be in the preseason.
So how'd the Clash, how'd it go over? Ratings good?
Yeah, pretty well for the most part.
Kind of similar to the Coliseum.
No, I wouldn't say that. Definitely better racing than the Coliseum, but
was it bigger?
No. Well, the track is bigger, yeah. But no, there's way less people in attendance, but TV-wise it did better. So but yeah, it'll be interesting. So I see the path you're going down. You think Chase, huh? Is that what you're saying? You think Chase all the way this year?
Has he ever won the Daytona?
He has not.
500? No. He hasn't won since 2020 either. It's championship.
Well, championship-wise, sure.
In my standards, does that even count?
Mickey Mouse. If there was one sport that year you can't make that claim, it might be NASCAR. Yeah. They were running 2 times a week there for a couple months.
Yeah, I know. That was tough.
To play catch-up.
Just because there's no fans in the stand doesn't mean anything. But,
But to you, it's a Mickey Mouse title, huh?
The Daytona 500 is the most exciting race of the year.
I
And
don't know about that necessarily, but
I thought last season's NASCAR season was very exciting. I thought they really changed it up. Have they done the playoff format yet? Or aren't they having an in-season tournament or something?
yeah, it's just
That's happening?
But it's not like it's like whatever, where it's like 1v1 on the track, in that sense.
But you're racing against that person.
Yeah.
You have to do better than that person.
Yeah, there's $1 million prize on the line.
That's happening this year.
Yep.
When's it starting?
I think it's the Coke 600 because I think they're doing it during the Amazon Prime races.
So they have to do. So whoever's matched up against you has to do better than them that day.
Yep. You could finish 34th, but if the guy finished 35th. You win. You move on.
You both crash.
In theory.
It's crazy if they crash at the same time and like one's just slowly ahead of them and that person gets to move on.
Okay. Don't let Dan.
Now,
don't let Dan Hurley see.
How do they figure out the seeds? Is it off last
points?
season?
No points.
Points at the time.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. So it could be Denny Hamlin saved first versus Cody Ware in 36.
What kind of new full timers do we have this year?
Full timer Shane Van Gisbergen. He's probably
the guy that won the road race in Chicago last year.
A couple of years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah. He's probably the main. He's for sure the main one. Try and go quick here. Roll that Riley Herbst for 23-11.
Who did we lose? Who retired? Anybody?
Martin Truex.
Martin Truex is done.
Yep.
I'm sure he'll still run a couple races.
He's actually run the Daytona. Well, he's attempting to make the Daytona 500.
Really?
Yep. With Tricon.
Anybody announced their retirement end of the year farewell season yet? No.
A lot of rumors it could be Denny's final year, but we'll see. Be interesting.
Kozlowski gonna retire here soon? Kyle Busch?
Those guys are close. I don't think it happens this year though for either. I don't think we see anybody retire this year, if I'm being honest. Could be wrong though. Have been wrong.
And your favorite team, the 23 team.
That's right.
Is it still who's on the team still? Same guys?
Yep. Well, I mean, new crew chief.
For Bubba?
Yep.
Really? Bubba, Tyler Reddick, and who?
Riley Herbst.
The guy's got to pull his weight a little bit, doesn't he?
Who?
Who's the guy you said?
Riley? Riley Herbst? He's a rookie.
Yeah, pull his weight a little bit. Come on. He's got too good. It's a good team.
It's true, yeah.
Reddick made the Final Four last year, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And the defending champion is
You got this, Nick.
Joey Logano.
There you go. Sliced bread.
Who won it the year before? It's
Same color as your pants.
yeah, I know. It starts with C.
No, it doesn't.
It starts with R, and it's
It
B.
does. Yep.
Ryan Blaney.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is.
Who won the year before that? In 22.
Oh man, 22.
Come on.
You're really going back. It wasn't Truex?
Nope.
He was up for it, wasn't he?
I can't remember.
22 wasn't William Byron, was it?
Mm-mm.
He's never won.
Nope.
Bigger name?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, bigger name.
Yeah.
Hamlin?
Nope.
Harvick?
Nope.
He was good that year, wasn't he? No, was that the year Larson went off? Was it Larson?
Nope.
Bigger name?
Sliced bread.
I don't know.
Joey Logano.
Oh, he won 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I thought he won.
Who won in 21?
Larson.
Yep.
2020.
And the
Elliott.
Mickey Mouse one.
Yeah, Elliott.
Remember that, Chase Elliott fans. Nick Felice says it's the Mickey Mouse Championship.
Yes, it was. It was. I'm a fan, but it was.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. Should be an interesting year. Go to Mexico City for the first time for the Cup Series, so be pretty cool.
So here we go.
Yep.
We're going to make your 3 picks for this weekend, and we got to make your
boy.
3 picks for the championships. We'll start with the trucks this weekend and the championship.
Trucks, I'm going to go winning this weekend in Daytona. I'll go Daniel Hemrick winning the trucks. Xfinity on Saturday. we'll go Sheldon Creed. And then Sunday, give me the Fry Wagon.
Wow,
Bubba Wallace.
that would be great.
It'd be nice. And then championships, we'll go. It's an even year. No, it's an odd year. Trucks, it's tough, man. I'll go. Who is going to win the truck title this year?
Corey Heim.
I am going to go Corey Heim. That's a good pick. I'm going Heim to win
He's
the
the
title.
best.
Yeah. Xfinity, I'm going to go.
John Nemechek.
No. I'm going to go Connor Zilic. The rookie wins the title in Xfinity.
He's good.
Yeah. And I'm going to go Cup.
So you're not going Logano.
I'm going to go Tyler Reddick.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the Jordan team.
Yep.
Yeah, that guy. What's his name? Clay. Who's the other guy on the team?
Riley Herbst?
Riley Hurst. I keep forgetting his
Did
name.
you just call him Clay?
He's gotta
He's
pull,
a rookie.
pull his weight a little bit. We got Bubba out here winning the 500. And we got Tyler winning the championship. What's this guy doing?
Being a rookie, learning.
Who
Who wins the 500? Who do you
500.
think's going to win the 500?
I like. I'm gonna go. I forgot his name, but I remembered it now. Ryan Blaney wins.
All right. I like
Daytona
that
500.
pick. I like that pick. Championship?
Championship. Chase Elliott. Come on.
Non Mickey Mouse title.
He's got to get that first real championship.
You're killing me. All right. We'll get out of here then on that note.
What about Arca?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't even.
Yeah.
Andy Jankowiak wins on Saturday in the ARCA race. Anyway, Nick, who are you shouting out today?
Shout out my cousin Nick Crisani and my friend Marquise Q. Patterson. Their birthdays are on Valentine's Day.
Ooh, love is in the air.
Yeah. What's that, Friday?
Yeah.
Shout out Nick and Q. And for us, it's Singles Guys Day, but you know.
I got a date
Really?
actually on Friday, yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day. But to them,
Aren't
happy
you
birthday.
going to ask the name? Who is it?
Who is it?
Daytona.
Daytona. Valentine's Day and Daytona Day. Same week, but shout out.
Shout out indeed. All right. Appreciate everybody for listening and tuning in. Hey, that is now 3 Wednesdays in a row we've been at the right time again. So don't let us get hot. We are on what's called a streak. Appreciate everybody for listening in and tuning in. Like, share, subscribe on the FingerX1.com YouTube channel and all major podcasting platforms, including Spotify and Amazon Music. Back again next Wednesday, everybody. Enjoy the weekend.